2. Today, our group will discuss about how spoon is made. Before we go through my part, I will introduce myself. My name is Muhammad Izzuddin Memota. Number matric B091910393. Next. Okay. Cutlery includes any hand implement used in preparing, serving, and especially eating food in the Western world. The spoon was one of man's earliest invention, possibly as old as the custom of drinking hot liquid. The city of Sheffield in England has been famous for the production of cutlery since the 7th century, and a train, the Master Cutler, running from Sheffield to London, was named after the industry. The major items of cutlery in Western culture are the knife, fork, and spoon. Today we'll go to detail about spoon. Raw material. The raw material of silverware is stainless steel, sterling silver, or in the case of silver plate, as a base metal over which a layer of silver is electrically deposited. Stainless steel is a combination of steel, chrome, and nickel. The thickness grade of metal used in production quality lines is 18 divided by 8 stainless steel. This means that it contains 18% chrome and 8% nickel. Next, stainless steel is very popular because of its easy care, durability, and low price. Next, the manufacturing process. There are 10 steps to make a spoon. First, blanking. Second, rolling. Third, annealing. Fourth, cutting to outline. Forming the pattern. Special step, silver plating, buffing, and sand polishing. Quality control. And the last step is final step. Our group member will discuss detail about the process. That's all from me. I will pass to my member group.
Okay, my name is Muhammad Shahir bin Ma'ruf. So for the process blanking, the production begin with rectangular flat blanks of stainless steel, sterling silver, or in the case of plated flatware, an alloy. Large rolls are stamped in individual blanks, which are flat pieces roughly the same shape as the piece to be produced. Next. I will pass to the other group.
Okay, thank you. First of all, my name is Muhammad Syahmi bin Malik. I will explain about flat rolling, which is one of type for rolling process, which is used for this spoon. So reducing flat rolling is reducing thickness or changing the cross section of long workpiece by compressive force. As you can see in the picture below, the workpiece is being through the to rolling to make the workpiece thin, and then the workpiece are rolled from left to right, right to left, and lengthwise, and then trim to outline. There are the steps, several steps for flat rolling. Next, we have each spoon back. Each spoon must be thick at the base of the handle to prevent from bending when some force is applied to it. So the spoon, the function of flat rolling is to prevent from bending when we use the spoon, such as we use it when eating or any kind of force applied to it. Next, annealing is a heat treatment process that changes the physical and chemical properties of a material to increase the ductility and reduce hardness. The workpiece will go through a process which the exposed to a high heat temperature. So the workpiece passing through the annealing process to soften the metal for further operation. Okay, last annealing is to ensure the workpieces exposed to heat with correct degree of hardness. So some metal or outcome product need different degree of hardness. So for spoon, we need to heat with correct degree of hardness to make it more ductile and reduce hardness. Next, cutting to outline. The roll workpiece are placed in the cutout machine to remove excess metal and shape the workpiece. As I mentioned before, we go through the process of flat rolling. After that, we go to this process, which is we remove the excess metal from the process before. Then, similar to cutting shape, where the shape is cut and excess metal is marked again to change back into metal sheets to do the next process. And then the trimming of the workpieces must be accurate fit into the dies when the design is applied, such as the spoon. So when we cut the metal sheet, we must have accurate reading or measurement of the spoon to ensure that it fits the dies when the design is applied. I will
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Sufian bin Mazlan. My ID matrix number is B0191910389. So I will continue the presentation about the forming pattern. So for the forming pattern, each pattern has its own hardening steel dies. There are two dies for each piece, which is one for the front and one for with the pattern for the back of the piece. They are carefully set in the hammer by die setter. The operator will quickly place a piece in under the drop hammer, which descend with a hydraulic pressure of 200 ton. The metal squeeze into every tiny detail of the ornamentation in the die, embossing the pattern on the piece. The blow of the hammer hardens the piece for use in homes. Clipping pressure is used to remove the surplus metal around the outline of the piece. Next. So, we move to the next slide, which is the special step. The next step is forming the bowl after the pattern has been embossed upon the front and the back of the handle. The forming is undergone the same powerful drop hammers from accurate steel dies. Each bowl requires two hammers blows. Again, clipping pressure is used to remove the surplus metal around the outline of the spoon. The forming of the fork tine is almost similar process with the spoon bowl, but the operation takes place before the pattern applied to the handles. Uh, that is for the spoon. As for the forks, a fork is cut to outline. It is pierced and tined. The tine are pieced out, and the small piece of metal that hold the tip of the tines together is removed in another operation after the pattern has been applied. This shows that the fork and the spoon, they are a little bit similar in the special step. Next. As for the knife, In order to make hollow handle for the knife, after two sheets of metal are formed to shape, they are soldered together, buffed and polished until the seam is no longer visible. The blades and handle are permanently joined by means of a powerful cement which bond with great strength and durability. These three types of things actually they are a little bit similar, as you can see. But as for the knife, they are using soldering method. So that's all from me. I will pass the presentation to my group members.
Okay, for the silver plating, for the silver plated pieces, the electroplating process is an additional step. The pieces are first prepared by being buffed so that the edges are smooth and the surfaces are free from small holes. When the buffing is completed, the pieces are given a thorough cleaning with as many as 12 different chemical solutions. Finally, they undergo electrolysis, in which a layer of silver is electrically deposited over the base metal. Okay, next. Next is buffing and sand polishing process. The knife, fork, and spoons are now buffed, then polished. Depending on the pattern, special finishing process can give silver-plated and sterling silver pieces a bright, mirror-like finish, a soft, satiny glow, or a brush. Okay, next I will pass to other group member.
Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, my name is Muhammad Mustaqim Rosman Rizal. Okay, for the quality control, we must do the final inspection to look for chafers, scratch, rough spot between the tines of the fork, discoloration, or any other flaw that may have occurred during the stamping, shaping, and polishing process. Okay, these are the two examples of defect on the product. First is scratch in metal cutlery. Okay, scratch are a surface defect that can lead to both dissatisfied customer and the worst product return. Okay, it's happened because rough handling during the production process. Okay, it can be prevented by carefully handling the finishing product. Okay, then for the dent marks in metal cutlery, okay, dents are typically caused by poor molding or annealing technique. During annealing, the yearly rectangular blanks or metal are subjected to high heat, which can help prevent bending and dents in the finishing product. Okay, next. Next. Okay, for the final step, the flatware is packed to meet the need of the customer and to ensure that the cutlery arrive in the same condition as it left the factory. Okay, the product are classified and stored. For example, the product that has different grade are not mixed together. And finally, the product are shipped to customer. Okay, then I will pass back to my friend. Okay, next slide.
So for the conclusion, in conclusion, there is a lot of process that needs to go through in order to create a spoon. This process must be starting with correct selection of raw material and then going through blanking process, rolling process, annealing process, cutting to outline, forming pattern, special steps, silver plating, buffing and sand polishing, quality control and final step. This process must be followed in a correct way in order to get the best outcome of the workpiece, which is spoon. So that's all from our group for our presentation. I think that's all from us. Thank you.